It was a busy yet successful portal weekend for Texas Tech. And in today's video, we'll discuss the recap of what Texas Tech landed in the portal in terms of commitments, as well as take a look at what some national beat writers are saying about Texas Tech and how the Red Raiders could be dangerous in 2025 and 2026. Plus, at the end of the video, is there a possible D5 return to Texas Tech? We'll discuss the latest. Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's RC Maxfield here for the Back to 12 podcast. Before we get into today's video, a sincere thank you to each and every one of you. We just passed 12,000 subs here on the channel. I started this channel not knowing exactly what was going to happen and hoping maybe, 100 people there, 100 people here, would tune in and listen to me yap about Texas Tech. But instead, we have built the largest community of Texas Tech fans on YouTube. And a sincere thank you to each and every one of you that take any kind of time out of your day to listen to me yap about the Red Raiders. Trust me, I know y'all are yapping in your everyday life about them. I just get to do it here on camera and y'all get to watch. And I am sincerely appreciative of each and every one of y'all that do so. All right. I know y'all didn't want to hear any of that and me get sentimental and stuff, but I needed to. Let's get into it. Here we go. Our good friend Jeff Goodman, I say sarcastically, he is over at the Field of 68. As you can see on your screen, Donovan Atwell did commit to Texas Tech this past weekend, as well as LeJuan Yates. So LeJuan Yates from Washington State. Donovan Atwell is from UNC Greensboro. Atwell committed on Sunday. Then you had Watts commit on Saturday. And then obviously what feels like a year ago, at least in portal time, you had Tyree Bryan commit on Wednesday. So very successful week for Texas Tech. This is what some of the bigger names in college basketball from a media perspective are saying about what Grant McCasland and crew have done. You see Jeff Goodman's tweet on your screen right there. Grant McCasland putting together a squad in Lubbock. Obviously, that includes retaining your two of your three best players with eligibility left, right? In Christian Anderson and the reigning Big 12 Player of the Year in JT Toppin. We don't stop there, though. One of the bigger accounts in college basketball Report, says Grant McCasland is on a heater. Since Darrion Williams hit the portal, Texas Tech has returned the Big 12 Player of the Year. They forgot to mention Christian Anderson, but I'll go ahead and do it. Added Santa Clara Tyree Bryan, landed Wazoo forward LeJuan Watts, and this was on Saturday before Donovan Atwell committed, but Texas Tech has now landed Donovan Atwell as well. Now, Fran Fraschilla, a.k.a. Mr. Big 12, this is what he had to say about LeJuan Watts committing to the Red Raiders. And if you haven't already, I would encourage you to go follow the Scarlet and Black Insider on Twitter, where they broke the news of LeJuan Watts committing to Texas Tech. Fran Fraschilla says, I saw this young man live in December. Texas Tech men's basketball fit is perfect. Red Raiders will love his grit. Absolutely agree wholeheartedly with Mr. Big 12, Fran Fraschilla. And also, I think Texas Tech fans are just going to resonate with LeJuan Watts' story more than anything. Obviously, you're going to love him as a basketball player, but as a man off the floor, this guy has been through it on a lot of levels, and he is a guy that has a great story, has a great work ethic, and just comes from an all-around great family. So for those that don't know, real quick, and we'll get into another national media member and what they had to say about Texas Tech's weekend in LeJuan Watts. LeJuan Watts actually had both of his parents pass away before he got to college. I believe his dad passed away of a heart attack when he was in 7th grade, and then his mom unfortunately passed away from cancer when he was in 10th grade. He was raised by his older brother and older sister. His older sister has a great story on Instagram about it. I encourage you guys to go check it out. In fact, I'll put it in the comments below if you want to go listen to that story. He works hard. And now, again, this is one of the big reasons why I think NIL is awesome, in the sense of he gets to take care of his family now. And that's something that college kids in years prior they really hadn't had the opportunity to do so. And with his story and his work ethic, he's definitely deserving of it. And he is a guy that I think is going to absolutely tear it up out in the 806 and be potentially an all Big 12 type performer in year number 1 out in Lubbock, Texas. All right. There's Fran again, just in case you missed it real quick. let's go ahead and get John Fanta on the screen. Of course, you have to have the University of Houston fan talking trash about Texas Tech. It is what it is. That's all in good fun. But this from John Fanta: the Texas Tech Red Raiders keep on winning. Washington State transfer LeJuan Watts announced he's transferring to Lubbock for his junior season. Averaged 13.7 points per game, 6.7 rebounds, and 4.4 assists. A dynamic 6'6" guard. Grant McCaslin's team is loaded in 2025-2026. Now, I'm glad he said that, because now on your screen is John Rothstein's early, 45. Basically, he calls it the Rothstein 45. And he has Texas Tech, as it stands right now, as the number 5 team in the country in the preseason. A lot can change, obviously. This does not include the addition of a guy like Donovan Atwell, who could be slotted in there in the starting lineup instead of Kevin Overton. That's not crazy to think about. And Texas Tech is nowhere near done, people. But I do think it's really cool to see the national aspect of this, in the sense that I know that there's a lot of Texas Tech fans out there. Oh, I want them to fly under the radar. I want them to do this. I want them to do that. Well, Texas Tech is really fucking good. They deserve the praise. What Grant McCaslin and crew have done in 2 years in Texas Tech at Texas Tech has been historical in a lot of ways, right? I mean, they went to the Elite Eight for the 3rd time in program history in year number 2. And now they're trying to build upon that. They've done so already in a fantastic way, keeping JT Toppin, keeping Christian Anderson, landing 3 of the best shooters in the portal, most notably from a shooting aspect, Donovan Atwell, right? Then you've also landed Tyree Bryan, who is one of those guys where, in my opinion, he's one of the best two-way guards and snipers from the outside. And then you've got LeJuan Watts, who we've seen a couple times here on your screen throughout this video, where he is basically like D5, just a little bit more athletic, right? So Texas Tech has done a phenomenal job in terms of not only retaining players that are really high-level caliber players, but also going out and pinpointing guys that they want. Don't get it twisted. Texas Tech had a plan. They went out and they executed it at a very, very high level in terms of, okay, we've seen this works for us best in the portal in terms of what type of player we want. Who are the best at it in the portal? Let's go get them. And that's what they did, landing 3 of the top shooters in the portal, one of the most versatile forwards. I know some people list him as a guard, but he was listed as a forward on the Washington State site, and LeJuan Watts. You get Donovan Atwell and Tyree Bryan, 2 of the best shooters and two-way players on the outside in the country, both ranking in the 85th percentile according to Synergy on the defensive end, not to mention what they do on the offensive end. So far, so good for Texas Tech, and they might not be done. If you stayed this far into the video, here's the D5 update. So this is what I feel comfortable saying, and I'll just read it right off my phone in terms of the text that I received in terms of the latest on D5. And we have an update over on the Scarlet and Black Insider. I post stuff over there faster than I can make videos, to be honest with you. So if you want to stay in the know there, and there's great guys over there posting content and updates, Austin Massey, you've got Jacob Harris, and then even a time or two, good old Tobias Bass, a Bass Bomb drops on the site as well. But this is what we put on the site yesterday. You're listening to this on Monday, April 14th. This is what we have been hearing about Darrion Williams. We are hearing rumblings that Texas Tech is pushing to get Darrion Williams back. We believe Texas Tech has made or is in the process of sending an offer to D5. What does that look like? I don't know. And I don't think that it's a firm certainty that he comes back. But verbatim, this is kind of what I wrote down in terms of my notes. I'll read it right off my notes app for you guys in terms of the text I've had back and forth with the person that told me Texas Tech has restarted talks with D5. The latest we heard this weekend was Texas Tech was trying to get D5 back. Tech did what was necessary to get back to this point. From a money perspective, Tech has the funds and the desire to bring back D5. It sounds like Texas Tech just went forward and was like, hey, whatever we did wrong, we'll admit to owning up to it, right? We want to bring you back, whatever it is. And I don't think it's worth speculating because really that's between D5 and whoever, right? And I don't think it was anything too crazy at all. But also you got to understand it's the portal era and D5 wanted to probably create some leverage. Maybe there wasn't as much, in terms of money out there for him that he thought. And now Texas Tech is like, okay, we can do this because we know the caliber of player you are in this system, right? This is a dramatic change, though, from even just last week where I was on here on the record saying, I don't think there's any chance D5 returns. I think the window is now open. Do I think it's likely he returns? I think that that's probably a stretch right now. But Texas Tech has restarted talks, and that is something that is pivotal for Texas Tech, because if you think about it from this perspective, if you can get D5 back, you return Christian Anderson, D5, and JT Toppin, your three best players with eligibility left from last year's team, right? Then you already went out and added those three guys that I told you about. You may get Fetty back. You got Akuntuk potentially playing in the front court as well. You already have 8 guys. Now you can be a far more strategic staff in terms of who you want to get, in terms of maybe another primary ball handler, this, that, and the other, whatever it is. But it sounds like Texas Tech is at least in talks with D5, and that is far more than they were last week. What level of talk? I don't even want to get there in terms of, is it advanced talks or is it just calling? I don't know. I'm just literally telling you what I was texted over the weekend, but that's where we're at with D5. One more update for you guys. I should have said this earlier in the video. I apologize. A lot of y'all are probably going to be asking, what happened to Isaiah Pasha in his official visit? That was actually nixed before it happened. He canceled his official visit to Texas Tech on Thursday night going into Friday morning. Instead, he went out to Blacksburg to visit Virginia Tech, and it sounds like Texas Tech has kind of moved on from Isaiah Pasha at this point and is focusing on other guards within the portal. But there you go. The national media loves what Texas Tech is doing. Isaiah Pasha does not go on his official visit to Texas Tech, and apparently the window is open in terms of a possible D5 returned out to the 806. All right, that's going to do it for today's video. Once again, appreciate y'all getting the channel to 12,000 subs. Unbelievable. The largest group of Texas Tech fans on YouTube. Unreal, man. Appreciate every single one of y'all. Already making this an historic day for me in terms of getting to 12,000 subs. But this is the most watched month we've had here on the channel. Over 150,000 views. We appreciate each and every single one of y'all. And if you want 100% free Texas Tech content all year long, whether it's on the gridiron or the hardwood, this is the place for you. Come join the Back to 12 squad today. All right, I'm RC Maxfield reminding you, as always, to stay safe and rep 'em Tech.